Bionic Gloves presents the Hands-On Golf Podcast, bringing anatomy and hand function to the forefront of glove design to improve comfort, fit, and performance.
Welcome everyone to this edition of the Bionic Gloves Hands-On Golf Podcast. My name is Chaz Rao. I am your gracious host here at the Audubon Country Club with the the gentlemanly Eric Gilliland. After that comment, I don't know. So here we go. Let's get right into this week's email. This one comes in from Nick. Long email, but we need to read it all because it's a great question. Love the podcast. Have watched many of them over and over again. Help my game. We're in reruns now, so I'm glad you like those. My question is about hitting a full sand wedge or lob wedge shot from the fairway. I'm very comfortable with my gap wedge and pitching wedge and hit them pretty consistently, both in terms of distance and direction. However, I seem to choke whenever I hit a sand wedge shot, or even more rarely a lob wedge from the fairway. I don't flat out shank too often, but I feel like I have no distance control at all, and I'm usually way short, usually a push to the right, or way long, often flying past the green. My typical ball flight is a high fade on most clubs. I suspect a lot of the problem is my setup. I would like your advice on the tips, drills to help with this issue. Okay,
Take a break.
Take a break.
Okay. I got this.
Okay, it's your turn.
Okay. I love the question. The reason I like the question is so many of the questions that we've been getting are concerning wedge play, and this one's really specific and a problem that I think a lot of people have, and it's very fixable. So let's get to this one right away.
That was great. Very short response, very long question, and we're going to give you a very great tip out here on the course in just a moment. So Nick, just remember, for your participation, you get the official Bionic glove. It's real easy. You can send us a long question like this or a short question, and if we use it, we'll be more than happy to send you a glove. Make sure you have your name, full mailing address, whether you're right or left-handed, and what size you wear. You do all that, and we use it, we'll send you a glove. Please continue to leave your feedback in iTunes and in YouTube. And as always, if you're looking for some of the past episodes, go to bionicgloves.com/podcast. So now let's go join Eric on the course to see how we can resolve this week's issue in the Bionic Gloves Hands-On Golf Podcast.
Nick, as I mentioned earlier, we've had a lot of questions that have come in from viewers about wedge play and how to control their wedge play. As a matter of fact, we just covered some of the shorter wedge shots. What you're interested in is full swing, lob wedge, sand wedge. So what I have here is a 54-degree wedge, which is my sand wedge. And when I swing that full, that's a club that goes 95 yards for me. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to stretch that club any further than what my maximum comfortable yardage is. When I get into full swing wedge play, that's finesse game. That's an easy swing where I'm really not trying to be terribly aggressive. I'm trying to control the shot. Almost like shooting a free throw in basketball. You don't shoot it harder because you're trying to make it. You shoot it better to try to make it. And that's what we want to do with our wedge play. So you mentioned high right as a big problem for you. And there are two factors that cause that. One is overswinging. I like the top of my backswing with a wedge to be well short of parallel. And what I mean by parallel is when the shaft is parallel to the ground. If I can keep my shaft short of that position, I know that the wedge, the club that I'm swinging, is well under control. The other issue that you mentioned is the ball going right. And if Chaz can work around behind me here, if I were to hit a shot this direction, I want to make sure that in my downswing, I don't have the club coming what's called over the top or outside the line, meaning the club is working back into my body in the through swing. I want to make sure that the club is working more from my body out. When the club comes from this direction, it slices across the ball, cuts across the ball, and creates side spin. So you can imagine if I were to overswing and bring the club from that direction, and overswinging frequently causes the club to come from the outside, I'm going to have a slightly open club face with the club sliding across the ball, and it's going to go high right, and chances are I'm going to be nowhere near my target. So what we'd want to do is make sure that the club is under control, that the club is moving really from your right pocket out, and you should have much better control over both your distance and direction with a wedge. So I'll step around here and hit a shot for you and see if you can mimic that shot and see if that doesn't help your wedge play. So I'll keep the backswing under control to a full finished position. And that puts me in good shape every time. So Nick, thank you for your question. And if you have any more issues with your golf swing, wedge play, contact your local PGA professional or come visit us at bionicgloves.com.